Adam. But what is your knowledge? What is your understanding of our father Adam? What is your understanding of what has been said in the prior scriptures about this man who supposedly, in terms of what has been put forth, that this was 6,000 years ago that the world was created? What do you make of that? What is your assessment? What does this old-time religion that is embedded in you, and those of you who are consciously now aware, consciously awake, those of you who rationalize what the scripture has said of the past and what is being said now in Quran, and once your intentions, dear believers, your intentions are sincere, your intentions are good, and you move out on faith in your innocence, moving out on faith, seeking to do what is right and beneficial to you, but also to your family, to the society, to the social order. That was a term I recall, social stratification. So here we are, making a pledge, making a covenant, as we see those who came before us, those who came before Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in their religious quarry, in their religious state. They made a covenant with Allah. And Allah was asking them to fulfill, to uphold their covenant as he uphold his covenant with them. But there were those who turned away from what Allah had given them that was pure, the old time way, the old religion. So this book, it comes to acknowledge to us, look, you have to be a thinker. It is good that you have came out of spiritual premises. It is good that you are spiritual. It is good that you make a connection with the universe, with the universal man. It is good that you make a connection with your fellow man, fellow woman, the fellow mind, the spirit that is given in a state of oneness, because the spirit is the same in terms of what our Lord wants us to have, in terms of our moving out, in terms of our progressiveness. So I look at our father Adam, and I look at science, and I look at what has been given to us in saying that the world was created some 6,000 years ago. But in that we are scientific minded, all of us are scientists by right in terms of what God has given us. And so Allah gave Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He gave him something to read. And he told him what? Iqra, you know the term Iqra. But are you feasting upon this word? Are you thinking about what Allah is saying when he told Muhammad to read? And are you understanding that you are also one that is to read? If you are following Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, then know that you are to read, but this is no ordinary reading. It is a proclamation. It is something that you are to see. And once you see what is in creation, what has been created for Muhammad, that it has been created for you in connecting Sunday and Friday of last week. So in making these connections with the universe, with the environment, with what surrounds you physically and what surrounds you mentally, what surrounds you morally and spiritually. So as I look at my father Adam, and as I look at these terms as to how they have been substantiated in the Quran and how we are to accept them, I am able in my sincerity and my innocence as a student for life, I am able to go to prayer, scripture, and make connections, hopefully God willing, to share with those who are tuned in, with those who are here, and with myself, to understand this language better, to understand these words and these signs and the picture of the surah in terms of what the surah is painting in our minds. Some might look at a picture. They might see beauty. Some might see pain. Some might see something that is hilarious in the same painting. As we might read one particular ayat, each of us, and we'll get something different according to our striving, according to our works, according to our sincerity. But just being spiritual isn't enough. So here is this term Adam. I have to understand it. And I don't want to be one that's just so spiritual and take things just so literal, or literally, that I'm stuck on that which man calls, accepted in this literacy. Certainly we have to do that. But if we're going to accept Quran literally, then understand what these words are saying and what form is in and what case is in. Who's being addressed? What is being assessed? What is your assessment of yourself? What are your assets as a Muslim, as a believer, as a man, as one that is to stand tall? So we know of a term, Sadiq. And there was one who was the companion of the Prophet, later known as the Khalifa. But we know more so the term that best suits him and others is the term Sadiq. Here is this term, Abu Bakr Sadiq. This Sadiq, it is one who is continually carrying the message as the Prophet did. Sadiq, one who stands in truth, one who stands up. Again, here's this word, this phrase, one who stands up in his soul. I hear standing. Come and stand. Come and stand for your Lord. And here I go. Come and stand for your Lord, though he does not need you to stand. We're the ones that need to stand. This standing, it gives us inspiration. This standing makes us feel more a part of who we are. Taking a position in the world that I'm going to tell you about my father Adam. That what you're thinking of Adam, this one single man, this beginning, one single man, it didn't happen 6,000 years ago. This is a description. It is a description of all of the Adams. It is a description of what is to take place within you and what is taking place in man, in the progression of man, in the movement of man, as to how Almighty Allah gave us religion for the first time. What else? Man. Gave man law, gave man order. So we look and the scientists are going and making discoveries, and they are finding that there were those who lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. They were created by Allah. They were created by God. But when we get to the Adam that we know of, now we are talking about one that has been given instructions. Now we are talking about one that questions and put things in order. We are talking about one that makes decisions. We are talking about one that is progressing in the society. So we are part of that. You are part of that. You are connected to this first Adam. And we have ATOM and we have ADAM, but there's a connection. So we see this movement in the society. We see this manzil, which means a mansion. It deals with a status. Nazala, from the word nazala, manzila. It means to descend, to come down, to lodge in a place. Tanzil, divine revelation, orderly arrangement, and authentic compilation. And in the Quran you have manzils, say 7 manzils. The Quran is divided into 7 manzils. Now you have to look at that, 7 parts. But we know of the 114 surahs, but now we have 7 sections. And we have 7 ayats in Al-Fatiha. You have to learn how to make the connection, say, well, let me see what this first manzil is saying. Let me see what the second, the third, the fourth. Let me connect this, see if there's a connection in the 7 heavens. So as I am ascending, as we are ascending when we read the Quran, because you are not reading some ordinary book. But you're reading a book that put things in its place. You're making things clear first to yourself. And you are seeking an understanding. So in proclaiming it, in this proclamation, in this reading, the prophet was reading what? He was actually reading the book. He said we didn't have the whole book. Yes, he did. He had the entire creation, and this was what he was to read. And as he read the creation, he was able to understand on his level. But remember, God was teaching him as he teaches you when you read the Quran, and when you're innocent in your character and your nature, and you're sincere, Allah elevates you. And as you're doing this in your heart, being sincere in your heart, then Allah connects you. He gives you that which enhances your intelligence. He expands your mind, and now your mind is working with your heart, and you get away from just being spiritual. Listen, let's look at this spirituality and just being basically those who are just contained or shaped and formed in just spirituality. Let's look at, if we say, the children of Israel. Let's look at what is being said about them in the scripture before the Quran, and how they suffered, how they were beaten, how they lost everything basically. But they still had their language and their religion. They still had their custom. And now let's switch and let's replace what this language is saying of the children of Israel. Let's look at African Americans. You might say, well, what does this have to do with Islam? And what does this have to do with Joma? Don't you know that Allah sends one in your midst to teach you, to warn you, to instruct you, whether you accept it or not? But don't you know that we are all a one? We are all a part of this whole? And so in saying that then I'm looking at a whole people that was destroyed. And the Bible speaks of a whole people being destroyed by song and dance. If you can't understand how to connect with the day's time, the day's language, the influence that are out there, oh, then you say we can't have no fun, we can't dance, we can't sing. No, I'm not. You should enjoy life. But the life that this world offers, it is a life of darkness and destruction. Yes, sing, dance, but don't let fun time pull you away from who you are and why you have been created. So you are making assessments. You are checking your assets. What is your net worth? You get ready to buy something, and the person that's possibly going to extend you credit, they want to know your net worth. They want to know about your credit. They want to know, what can you afford? Are you over your head? I mean, is it feasible for me to let you have this house, this car, or what have you? Whatever it is you're trying to buy. But I'm looking at your credit report. And I see your credit. You have quite a few bills here. And you're late on quite a few payments. Now, just think. If Almighty Allah held us accountable the way that some of these lending institutions do. Just think, if Allah was harsh and wasn't merciful and kind and loving, where would we be? So you personally, those who are viewing this Juma here at Masjid Al-Taqwa, 5403 Virginia Avenue, I say to you, make an assessment of yourself. What is your work? What is your contribution to your family, to yourself? So this religion, it is asking you to read, and as you read, man, as Muhammad read, he was also, just like his father, or as it said of the Khalifa, he was also able to give things their name. The biggest contribution for Al-Islam, believe it or not, it is that of education. It is that of education. This book educates, this religion, it educates whoever dwells, whoever gives themselves wholeheartedly to God. It puts you in a position where you become available for those who are thirsty, those who thirst, those who are hungry, those who are looking for the way, those who have slight vision. But if we are doing what we're supposed to do, then you will find that society becomes much more pure. Don't think that we need thousands of people to deliver this message. It would be good. Don't think that everyone in this room now, or all of you that are viewing this, don't think that the righteous need everybody and that everybody is going to become a Muslim, or everybody's going to become a Christian, or everybody's going to come with the Jewish faith, which you know that's not going to happen. But I'm saying to you, what you have, you are being tested with what you have. What is the assessment? What is the capacity of your knowledge? How much knowledge do you have? Are you arrogant with your knowledge? Are you holding back the truth? Are you poking your chest out, being arrogant? Are you being a benefit to your family? So, as we make an assessment of our physical worth, what about our moral worth, our mental, our intellectual worth, our spiritual worth? Is my example, is my inner meaning in the society? Is it being placed in the best form where the whole society can benefit from this stance that I am taking? From this stance that Abu Bakr took when he stood up, knowing that he was outnumbered when the prophet passed. Because there were those who wanted to go to the war. It was Umar. Oh man, he flipped out. He had lost it. And he was saying anybody that was saying that the prophet was dead, they was going to have to deal with him. Well, if you know anything about the history of the Sahaba and Umar, you know, here was one that was strong in his character. And he loved the prophet. And he didn't mind going to war. So in saying this, everyone was getting all riled up, like it was about to be a riot. Who was going to be in charge? Who was going to be the new leader? And here steps Abu Bakr Siddiq. And he told them, going before the crowd, if you worship Muhammad, then he is truly dead. But if you worship Allah, then he lives. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasulullah. Sadiqa, to be truthful, to verify, to keep the faith, to address those things that assist us in keeping the promise that we make to Allah. Here we are continuing in this reading, Iqra, or read, or proclaim. Though you read the Quran, though you read these words, how many times have you sat and you pondered and you thought and you digested these words from this first surah, these first 5 ayahs that was revealed to Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him? Here it is, Allah is telling him to proclaim, but it also goes to ayah 2. It says, here it is, Allah created man out of a mere clot of congealed blood. And you can take scientific discoveries, and then you learn about the sperm and the egg, this union. And you know that when the sperm pierces the egg, it says that a bit of blood is shown. So we know that this actually happened. But this was 1,400 years ago. Here's the Quran being revealed to Muhammad, and it's talking about a sperm and an egg, congealed blood. But we also want to take this somewhere else. We are speaking in terms of physicality, the sperm and the egg. Though you can't see the sperm with your eyes. But you're speaking about something moving in the direction of a larger sphere, a larger body. This body, I'm speaking of the womb. Now that's on the physical level. But now let's look mentally and morally. Let's look at what transpires when I look at this and I'm applying it. I used the term earlier, social stratification. of the socialization of man, the binding, the coming together of man. And in the word Jummah, it means to congregate. So I'm seeing a binding, I'm seeing a coming together. I'm seeing a unity. I'm seeing as we come in and as we pray, we make the salah. Allah is giving us that which will enhance our spirit, and we are able to do this work. The work that Muhammad did, though we're not prophets. So here we have been created out of a mere clot of congealed blood. And we know there are other terms, there's much more to be said about this. But I want to make the point with this today that this coming together, all of us, some of us, we have brothers and sisters. Some might be a single member in the family. Maybe you're the only son or the only daughter. But generally we know there are families where there's a sister and brother. You might have 4 or 5 brothers and sisters, some big families, 9, 10, 12 brothers and sisters. And I know some of my friends have 21 brothers and sisters. So now we have a collection, we have a merging together of a family. Now there's a family order, there's a social order taking place in your household, your personal household, as you're growing up with your parents. So you're learning law, you're learning sociology, you're learning about spirituality, and the heads of the household, the mother and the father, they're giving instructions, and they're dealing with the children, they're assessing the children. They know the personality of the children. So this can also refer to the coming together of the union of man. Don't you know that was a union? Don't you know the statement to say, what's happening, blood? Now, in my earlier days, when we said blood, we were just speaking of the community. We were just speaking of what we call the brothers. What's happening, man? So, what's happening, blood? Meaning we looked alike, we shared something. What's happening, soul brother? There was a collectivity. What's happening, blood? So there was a connection because of color. But more so as we grow, here is a connection for all human beings in terms of the spiritual connection. This blood, this spirit, this doctrine, blood and bread in the language of the old before the Quran. Speaking of the bread, speaking of a doctrine, this blood, the purity, this life-giving force, this scripture. So here we have the Quran making all of this possible, enabling me to see my brothers in Medina that's waiting for me, that have extended their hands, the Ansari, as they extended their hands and their hearts, and their intentions was to welcome Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. And it did. But when he got there, here's the job is really starting. Because now you are dealing with people that are not the Jahiliyyah. You're dealing with people that have insight, that have some knowledge, and you're dealing with a whole lot of scandalmongers, a whole lot of people that want to destroy Muhammad and this new religion. To see if they could get a handhold, see if they could get a toehold into this new religion, and also to get in Muhammad's head. But it wasn't happening. So here was this man, Muhammad, that was prepared from the very beginning. And in his assessment of himself, he became afraid when he received this first revelation. And Allah was telling him to proclaim, and thy Lord is most bountiful. Now listen, I want you to think in terms of the whole social process. I want you to think in terms of man, period. No particular race right now. But I want you to think about this wholeness of mankind, this man that Allah created. So Allah is saying, proclaiming that Lord is most bountiful. Now how is this bounty to take place? What am I seeing? What are my teachers instructing me in talking about this particular ayah in one fashion? If I am proclaiming, if I am reading, then for me to truly read, I am assessing. Science, they say, what is this science? It is the gathering of information through observation and facts. So here was Muhammad reading the society. He was looking at nature. He was determining certain circumstances after certain things happened, if there was a violation of nature, there were certain things that would happen in terms of consequences. For African Americans in this country that went through slavery, many became Christians because of circumstances and not choice. Maybe I need to say that again. Many became Christians because of circumstances and not choice. I'm speeding up history. If I look at what is supposed to happen in 1865, where the slaves were supposedly set free, then set free to go where? And what did they have? And this man was so barbaric and so evil, he told him, if you, this is a broader picture, if you are going to stay on my plantation, then you're going to have to go to church. Now, when I give you this religion, you're going to have to accept this religion that I give you in the way that I give it to you, because you are cursed. This was what was handed to our ancestors. And they said, slaves, obey your master. But the way it was done, all of these atrocious acts were being committed against the whole people. Misused, and the term comes, and abused. But I'm not saying this to hatch racism. I want you to understand what happened to a people and what would happen to you if you didn't have a choice. But because you are innocent in your nature, in your spirit, in your heart, you have this desire to please Allah, to serve Allah. You hear and you obey. This is your intention. This is our intentions, to hear and obey. Though we might stumble sometimes, but overall, in terms of the scales, we want to hear and we want to obey. So here were the slaves who were told, you're going to have to go to church and you're going to be obliging to what is being taught in the church. So after a while, in that the slaves had to go to church and listen to a preacher that didn't look like them, there was one who broke from that banner, from that hole, and established the first church for African Americans in this country. It is known as the African Methodist Church. So when you hear AME, they're talking about the African Methodist Church, AMC, the African Methodist Church. But what happened was, once they broke on their own, before they had been given some knowledge, some rationalization, some information, some wisdom, as long as they were under the slave master. But our ancestors became uncomfortable in looking at a man that had just been putting me to the whip and raping my women and destroying and selling my sons and daughters. They felt uncomfortable. So they broke on their own. Isn't that this history? They broke on their own. And so here the ones that were preachers, they went so far in terms of what they received from the slave master in terms of religious teaching. But then after they went so far, then they became more spiritual than rational. So that's what you find. That's what you see in our people today. Am I condemning Christianity? No. They are fine, worthy, good people who are Christians. So don't confuse it when you are reading the Quran and it tells you, something say quickly, oh, take not the Christians and Jews for friends. Listen, here's the word wali. And when you look at that word further, it's not just simply talking about a friend. Hear me, please. When it says take not the Christians and Jews for friends, and this word wali is used, it is speaking of managers of your affairs as a Muslim. You wouldn't open your refrigerator or cook a meal and leave it on the table, and you have little children or maybe animals, and you just turn them loose in your kitchen on your table. You know what's going to happen. You wouldn't put, as I said last week, a wolf in a hen house because you know what's going to happen. So here it is then, that Allah has given us the opportunity and information to govern our community. Christians are not to be managers of my Quran. Christians are not to be managers of the masjid. Christians are not to be managers of our children. We should teach our own children If the children are going to public schools, you should take some time in the evening and teach your children about this book, about the life of Muhammad, about the education that this book gives, about the respect for this book, and how Muhammad, who was not a learned man, but he became the master of the society, of the world in which he lived in. He became the master teacher of those who had the knowledge of Scripture. So he understood this term, wali, because also in the Quran it talks about how there are churches, there are synagogues, there have been under a protection, and had it not been for those who were strong in their faith, had it not been from a word or for a word from Allah, you will see many monasteries, churches, synagogues destroyed. And so we are to be those who are protectors and helpers of those who are right-minded, those who want to bring about a change in the society for the whole. So this word Sadiq, being truthful, one of the names of Allah, the Sadiq, but also it was a name that was referred to by Prophet Muhammad, the Sadiq. Truthful, binding, had a binding desire to protect what Allah had blessed him to read, blessed him to see. Let's be scientific-minded in what I'm saying now. How then can you read and then Allah blesses you and he's most bountiful? Don't you know, man, begin to look at the whole picture, not just one individual, not just yourself. Man was blessed in his reading, in his proclaiming, as he assessed the society, as he assessed the world, as he assessed the amoeba, the paramecium, these microscopic animals, as he began to learn about bacteria and how the bacteria, how germs had an effect on plants, how the germs have an effect on us as human beings. As he assessed this, as he saw this, as he discovered this process that was taking place in nature, in life, then man was able to write down. Man was able to project and tell others in his society, be careful with this particular plant, this particular germ. Be careful of violation of your nature. Watch what you are doing. Don't mix this with that. Chemical composition. Some chemicals can't be mixed because they'll cause an explosion. Well, here it is, Allah is calling us to prayer. But he's not just calling us to prayer. He's calling us to rationalization. He's calling us to common sense. He's calling us to stand up. He's calling us to make a declaration before the world in our reading, not just physical reading, but as we read, as we assess what Allah has given us to study and to love, we are able to take that information as we share it before the world, just as you had penicillin. I have penicillin and there are other antibiotics today. But this had to be discovered by man. And it was made possible by Allah. So when man made this discovery about the penicillin, making this observation and began to experiment with this observation, what happened? He began to apply to illnesses and sicknesses. And people who had died from certain diseases because of this penicillin, now we see hundreds of thousands, millions being saved because of penicillin. So here's the reward. Because man read nature. Man experimented with nature. He observed nature. What I'm saying that to you in terms of this Quran. Take the Quran and apply it to your life. There are those in this closing. There are those who look at you and they call you poor when you don't have a lot of education. They call you weak when you don't stand up to them in terms of their corporateness. When you don't have the money, you don't have the positions, you don't have the fine homes and cars, your children aren't in the best of schools. They look down on you. And they say of those who accept Allah, who have faith in Allah, who are standing upon their faith and their belief, they say that you are weak. And some say that God is poor. But in the Quran, Allah says, He is rich, and He is man that is poor. And that one who puts his material wealth before Allah, he will soon suffer. He will soon encounter those things that will destroy him. And he will see his world falling around him. Thus you see what is happening. And the one that is known as Donald Trump. So again I say, do you enjoy right conduct on the people that forget to practice it yourselves? And yet ye study the scripture. Would ye not understand? So dear beloved Muslims, we praise Almighty Allah. We believe in Allah. We thank Almighty Allah that He has given us this opportunity to stand before you and to bear witness. And don't sell this knowledge, this wisdom that Allah has given you for a miserable price. Allah speaks of the secret societies. He speaks of those who have knowledge and wisdom, and they keep it among themselves. Their knowledge and wisdom will soon destroy them as we see their hearts become hardened. What you are seeing in America right now is an excellent example of what happened to a people, what happened to a country, what happened to a nation when you have the Pharaoh of the day in Washington, D.C. We have to be those who understand how Allah has delivered us across the sea, has put us in a position. And we have to be settled in our mind that what we have, it is the best, but yet we're to be respectful. Don't respect those who don't respect Almighty Allah. Don't respect those who don't accept the words and the truth of Almighty Allah. Get away from them. After you warn them, whether they be an associate or so-called friend or family member, once you warn them and you see that they are pulling you down, once you have warned them and you are sincere, you really love them, but you see the stress and the pain and the sorrow that you are going through from dealing with those who have abused the contract, who have abused this covenant with Almighty Allah. Let us be those who love the truth, who love Allah, who love the Prophet, and who love each other as believers.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Qamat as-salah, qamat as-salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Assalamu alaikum. This is, I want to just make an announcement. Coming possibly mid-February or the 1st of March, we're going to have an interfaith meeting here at the masjid on a Sunday, and we're inviting churches and also our community of brothers over on Europe, and we'll be having a